a couple minutes late. Oh, you know what? I'm doing laundry. Well, I'm folding. I already did laundry. Oh, y'all, I'm tired. I ain't gonna be on here too terribly long. Let's pop in and I'll chat. I'm gonna just do a check-in and make sure everybody all right. How y'all doing? Got a lot that done happened. The Pope done passed. There's some other things going on the Christian level, but yeah, we want to go into that madness right now. And yeah, let me see. Let me get my chat up. Excuse me, that's a burp, y'all. I got me a soda because I had pho, and I had to do a little burpy burp. I get indigestion now. I think it's the shots a little bit more, or it could be stomach in general. Oh, hey, Tiffany, what's up? What's your weather like? Where you at? I forgot. You in Tiffany? Yeah, I ain't talked to you in a minute. Is it Flatbed? What's up? Yeah, I was 2 minutes. Oh, look, Ninja's on. So she like, I'm a truck driver. Ninja, be on time. Oh, I'm so weak. Oh yeah, Boudin. What's up, Tiffany? Yeah, Boudin. She like, look here, former truck driver, don't be late. No, I ate pho and I get indigestion now. I don't know if it's the weight loss and the hernia, but sometimes I get indigestion. So I don't really have. I tried Diet Coke. Diet Sprite. It's sweet to me. It's too sweet. So I just do Diet Coke because it's not all that sweet. If I do a soda, I need to get my ginger ale back in the house because me and ginger ale are good. Jersey should be cooler than Arizona. I know we are in our 80s. I still haven't gotten out to the garden yet. I'm hoping to do some of that tonight. I didn't wake up early enough to do it this morning. I'm still working on the desk. So my goals today are the desk, some stuff in the kitchen, and to get one garden bed up, at least one. And then I got another one I got to build over here. And then I got some plants I got to plant. So between now and Sunday, we're going to have at least one garden bed ready up to go. Louisiana, yeah, you guys should be warm right now too because y'all humid to me all the time. Don't matter even if your weather is cool. Louisiana is humid. Oh, I love the East Coast in general, very pretty with the exception. Jersey, it was okay. But New Hampshire, Mass, PA, gorgeous, gorgeous. Even outside of Maryland until you get into Baltimore, it's gorgeous. The greenery up on the East Coast is gorgeous. It's them streets and the truck that are horrible. Horrible. Yeah. How y'all doing? Tiffany, how's it hanging? And Flatbed, how you doing? How y'all doing with all the political stuff going on right now? How y'all feeling? It's a little overwhelming. Bodymore. Yeah, you know why it's called Bodymore, right? Ninjas is crazy. Bodymore. Baltimore. Yeah, Ninjas is crazy. Off the chain. No, I never saw anything bad when I was out there. I just know the reputation. I know the reputation. So the reputation is significantly bad. Yeah, I had a former truck driver I know, and I'm gonna say this to everybody. Yes, I work in insurance, but I do not give insurance advice. One, because I am licensed and I'm an employee. So I will not give insurance advice. I can't help you with your insurance issues other than to tell you, talk to your agent's office, or whoever your insurance company is. If you have an accident, I cannot help you. I'm a claims adjuster. I'm licensed as a claim adjuster. I can't help you. So I don't mean to be mean, but for those of you, he hit me up on Facebook. It was somebody I knew from trucking. He's like, oh, and I think he thought I was still in trucking. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not in trucking anymore. I work in insurance. I'm doing this for an insurance company. And I didn't give the name of the company I was with. I don't do that. So what did he say to me? He told me about a situation he was in and then wanted advice and, oh, give him a call. No, I'm not giving you a call. No, sir. No, I'm not. And one, because I am licensed, if I start giving advice, they can subpoena me. No, baby, I'm not getting involved in that. And if that claim is not coming to come, I don't want my company to have issues with me. So no, I will not be giving advice. Then this ninja had the nerve to say, oh, what you do? Put your hand on the Bible? Who are you talking to? See, that's when you start getting the other Shannon. Who the hell you talking to? So you won't hear from me no more. I told Mama pray for you, and we called it a day, and I threw the peace symbol. We out, bro. You don't even need to hit me up no more. Happy birthday and Merry Christmas. That's all. That little conversation, that little smart butt remark, it got you the peace sign. Facts. What you write, Tiffany, that you got rid of? I need you to put it back in there. Tell me what you wrote. It said you retracted your message. I need to know what you said. Come with it, Tiffany. Make my Saturday interesting, because I tell you what, I was in office this week, and it's been, girl. Tiffany! Woo! You trying to get us some black jobs? I cannot. Tiffany, you starting stuff. Stop starting stuff up in here, Tiffany. Tiffany starting stuff. Don't be starting. You want to be starting something. I'm ashy, y'all. Why am I ashy? Tiffany is starting stuff up on here. And I ain't got nothing but I'm ashy. Oh my God, Tiffany. I'm so weak right now. Sis, you did not take it there. Okay, anybody come in, give it a like, thumbs up, share it out. Tiffany just went all in. Woo! I ain't got no comment for that, right? Yeah, Tiffany, you just jumped all in. Tiffany said, I'm gonna go there. Yeah. Mm. You know, and I'm gonna say this. And my family is a rainbow coalition on both sides. My mother's side, my father's side, we got Latinos. I don't think on my father's side we ain't missed an ethnic group. We got everything. On my mother's side, it's got a mix, but I think it's more like white and Latino. But on my father's side, we done hit the Asian folk, we done hit the African folk, we done hit the Latino folk. We got everything. It's a big old mix. And I as I have watched all of this happening, even though it was funny, but from a more serious standpoint, my heart goes out to those who have been impacted by this on two levels. It goes out to the ones who have been shipped somewhere to a slave camp. Okay, goes out to them. But it also goes out to the people who are still in the foolery. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. And I know, as I say, because most people know I'm Christian, I believe that this individual was supposed to be there, or God wouldn't have placed him there. God put him there. The same he put every other leader, whether good, bad, or indifferent, in their position, because there's an end game. And there's a biblical saying, my thoughts are not your thoughts, my ways are not your ways. But there's an end game. But even in the end game, there are lessons. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. Even in the end game, there are lessons. In Old Testament stories, it talks about the Jews going into captivity because they got out of pocket, right? And they went under, in some cases by God's command and allowance, under very oppressive regimes. Okay? Hey, what's up, Wendy? How's the weather in Colorado? With what's going on right now, and I didn't like either side of the coin. I'm very honest about both. I saw one group pushing one agenda I didn't like. I saw the other group was just cray-cray. I'm a neutral party. I'm that middle of the road. Okay. And I just think we need to come back to center, but I don't think it's going to go back to center because I think time is wrapping up. That's just me from a spiritual Christian side of things. And there's lessons in all of this. It's funny because the black family I know who are supporters of that individual, I'm listening to some of the things about finances, about Social Security being gone, um, other things that are happening, and I'm like, but y'all were supporting the voters of this. And 2 and 2 don't equal 4. 2 and 2 for them equals 5, and they make it make sense. There are people right now like, oh no, it's gonna be okay. There are groups of folks who claim Christianity that, oh, it's gonna be a reset because what they want, they've gotten used here and forgot what really the promise or the belief system of a Christian is. Our belief system is that things are going to end. They're going to wrap up and some events are going to take place. And what's going on right now is really a setup of that. I don't, even the Pope passing, for those of y'all who may be Catholic, sorry for y'all loss. But even I believe the Pope passing and whatever comes in as the new Pope, I believe that is all part of this direction in which the world is going. And I hope that people make the right choices. But based on the choices that have been made, there's some stuff getting ready to happen. Right now, like I said, if I'm like, Lord, rapture, you can come get me. But either way, there you go. Let me see what you play. Oh, you okay? Oh, so you say you giving it 2 years to see what happened? Well, I don't know if we're gonna get 2 years, and I think it's gonna affect us way before 2 years. If we get through this year without the things that I think are going to happen, because I think America is going to crash. I think we're going to depression in a head. We're going into a depression that's a slippery slope that we ain't never seen before. My grandparents didn't experience, and Grumpy said, his father said to him, when the next depression happens, these folks, he said, you're going to have to be real careful of these folks because they going to go off the Richter, okay? They're going to make Black Wall Street look like nothing, okay? I'm just going to say that. So you got to make sure your stuff is in order or you about this country. Just that's my thought process. Yeah, it is going, and it's not just these folks. It's anybody who's a supporter of this weirdness. But it's the same thing. It's the nature of man. That's really the best way. So when I look at the Old Testament stories right now, and I'm seeing where we're at right now, it's the nature of man, and it's the nature of our country. So the dude on top is not by himself in his thought process. We are in a world of entitled people, narcissistic folks. It's all about me, self-centered, and really folks who really haven't truly been on their behind. Folks who don't understand what third world countries go through. Folks who don't understand living in poverty. I mean, it's just like if you brought somebody from New York to Arizona who lived in the projects, and I take them to my projects here in Arizona, girl, what the hell is that? That's what? Them who? Ain't no damn projects. That's some apartments. Arizona projects, that ain't nearly what they got going on in New York or Chicago. Psh. Our projects here, or you go into parts of Louisiana, which I've been in, and you see some of the levels of poverties there with the houses on. I've been down in Alabama, Mississippi, and the Virginias. You go and see that level of poverty, Mississippi, and you come here. For the most part in Arizona, we don't have that. You might find some places in Arizona, California that, but that level, we don't understand it. And now to get it worldwide. And the other problem is that those people that are living like that, even that is sometimes better than third world countries. So they will look up to foolishness because of education. And they will say, yeah, that's what we're for. And this person going to be different because their racism is another issue, will overtake any kind of common sense. And also, I found that a lot of people like living in lies. I got that even just among common friends. It's a nature of man to live in lies. Man likes lies. It's comfortable. It's justification, and it makes. That's why the individual can tell you lies because he know that a lot of people like to live in it, and they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to. I don't want to look and say, you know what, I was wrong. You know what? Okay, I need to analyze why I made these decisions. And I need to justify my decisions. So if I don't want to justify, if I don't want to analyze, if I don't want to look at why, then I will live in the lie. So I would rather keep letting this person feed me doo-doo and eating it instead of saying, you know what, I'm eating poop. Why am I sitting here eating poop? Because you're choosing to eat poop. You're choosing to live in lies. I had a friend of mine tell a story. I had a dream a long time ago, and I think I've shared this before. And I get sometimes dreams that I believe the Lord shows me stuff, right? I dreamt my best friend's death, father's death, everything. The time she called me, I dreamt every aspect of it. I was 18 years old. She called me at the exact time to tell me he passed. She called me at the exact time to tell me he passed. She called me. Everything she told me was exactly what I dreamed. Okay. So I have a habit, and even in my own life, back when I was in the gay lifestyle, I was in a relationship with somebody, and I thought I was stone cold in love with this person, and was gonna get back involved with them. And I had a dream that gave me warning, like, do not. This individual is gonna take you to the pit of hell. Dream scared me so bad, I left the individual alone. I will tell you that I ran into them years later, and their life was crazy. Okay. I get kind of like these dreams that give me insight. So like my buddy, one of my buddies, I told him about a job issue. I said, I had this dream. I think it relates to you. And we were just becoming friends back then. And I think these things are going to happen to you. He was off on a cruise, and another individual from the company we all worked at called me about a situation because I was on vacation, just like a staycation at home, like taking a couple days off. She's like, girl, she said, you hear about this new HR dude we got here? I was like, no, what's going on? So she told me all these things they do, and I was like, you know, girl, let me tell you about this dream I had, because she was Christian too. And I told her about this dream, and she said, you might want to call him, because I think when he come back here, if your dream and what's going on up in here happens, and again, my dream happened before what she was telling me, so prior to. And I called and told him. So he already knows. And I said, look, we were just becoming friends. I'm like, we don't know each other this well, but I do sometimes God gives me these dreams. And it's kind of like, I get warnings, right? I get warning dreams. So I warned him. Everything I told him in the dream aligned with what she just told me. And when he walked in the office, everything from the dream transpired. Okay. And he was going to lose the job, but he chose to leave ahead of time, right? So he had to leave because they were going to get rid of him. Then later, we had some friendship issues, didn't talk to each other, came back to Arizona from trucking, went into corporate arena again, and found out that he had taken custody of some nephews. And so originally he had 3 of them. He said, I'm giving one back because this one ain't going to listen, and there were issues. The other 2 he was going to keep, and I had a dream. And I said, look, I'm going to tell you something. You need to keep the youngest one. I had a dream, and I saw violence in your home. I saw you defending you have to defend your mother or your brother from violence from this one child. Okay. I said, you need to give him back to the state. Okay. I'm going to tell you there has been a series of crazy butt events with that child. The child tried to stab him, and the mama. So he had to defend his mom. Exactly what I told him in the dream. My friend continues to make excuses and live in lies about this young child and about the damages. He likes living in lies. Some people, and what I have had to, it's really something I've analyzed about people. Some people like living in the lies of justification to justify their madness. They like living in foolishness. Grumpy was the same way. It's a narcissistic behavior. And when I finally started, and I believe the Lord is really what has shined a light on me for this. And I think that if you don't have that relationship, it's very easy for a majority of man to do this. So we will justify and live comfortably in the lie. It's like the fat girl that goes out trying to wear the skinny stuff. And it's like, baby girl, you don't realize you fat? You don't realize that don't look right on you? Because you want to look like everybody else. And so I'm going to look in a mirror and I'm going to be delusional about what I appear as. People do this. And they do it even in a lot of aspects of their life. And it's women that invite men in. My biological mother knew, she basically had some kind of inkling that something wasn't right with old boy, the dude that my brother's father. But yet you create these delusions because this is the fantasy land you want to live in. So we are now living in narcissistic craziness. But that's because most of America is narcissistic. Most of America, a narcissist is a liar. They create their own reality. They want people to live in their reality. Any kind of attention, good, bad, or indifferent, works for them. They want to be the center of attention. They want it all about them. Other people are subservient to them. And they're okay with this. Well, you have to understand the other little narcissists and entitled people who want things their way, that's what they do. We are a narcissistic, self-centered, entitled group of folk. It's sad, but it's true. And honestly, Flatbed, I don't know if everybody will level out. For Grumpy, his narcissism was so bad, he died because of it. Because I'm going to do it my way, even, like I said, even a cut nose off to spite face. So there are people who aren't ever going to admit I was wrong. There are people who, it's to me the same way with Christianity. There's people who know there's something bigger, but you ain't never go. There's people who just they're not going to, they're going to stay in the foolishness, and they're going to do them, and that's okay because that's part of the lesson. In the Old Testament, they told, and one of the prophets told the Jews, "Buckle up, we're gonna be in this for 70 years," because God knew y'all ain't gonna get it. Gonna take a whole generation for to pass away for y'all to even get this, and maybe some of them might come out half, but okay. Most of y'all is hard headed, and you got to go through all this madness. So for some people, it's kind of like there's that old black saying mamas used to say to you: "A hard head makes soft behind." A hard head makes soft behind, but some people will just keep getting beat. They they don't, it's like I'm gonna keep doing it to the end. They are that entrenched in their foolishness. They are that entrenched in their narcissism. They are that entrenched in their racism. They are that entrenched in it, and I ain't gonna change. I ain't. That was one of Grumpy's old saying. I ain't. Because that's how entrenched they are. I have. Okay, you think we're going to war? Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to lose. Absolutely. And America's going to lose. So, and it's not that I'm non-American. It's that I am an American. I am, and it's sad, but I also am Christian. So from the biblical standpoint, at least what I understand of end times event, America is not a major player in the end world events that are supposed to happen biblically. We're not even on the page. We're not even mentioned, to my knowledge. I could be wrong in my understanding. I'm not a prophetic expert by any means, but from things that I remember studying, we are not mentioned. We are not anywhere there. China's there. Russia's in there. America is not. So the events that are taking place right now, when I say things like, yeah, he's supposed to be there, him being there may be the very catalyst to position us to where we're supposed to be, because to me, we're in the end times. So the slippery slope that we're going, it is what it is. And all I'm praying right now is that Lord pricks the hearts of those he needs to prick, and those that are receptive and receive him, so that they don't get left here. And I am a firm believer that the rapture is going to happen. I know some people are like, ooh, you believe in that mystical thing? If I'm believing the Bible, say I'm Christian, I got to believe in it. Well, the rapture is not in the Bible. Yes, it is. It's just not in the way you think, because of the way the word is not present unless you go into certain, what's the word I want to use? Translations. Probably because of kids today. What kids today? You talking about the ones, girl, please, these kids are a bunch of fools. Most of these kids are so self-centered, they're not even paying attention. They have no idea what's going on. Most of these kids are so self-centered, self-serving, caught up into all this stuff they can buy and look in a certain way and the cars they can drive and all their foolery. They're not, they have absolutely no idea what's going on. Zero. Absolutely not. They don't know. Very few. Most of them are dumb as a box of rocks. Most, God forgive me, I'm just going to keep it there. Most of them are self-centered, self-serving, and self-willed. Oh, the kids won't be going. Oh, you saying the kids won't be going to war? They'll try to draft them, but most of them will try to either get out the country or refuse to serve or stuff like that, or try to dodge draft. He gonna throw them over there though. He gonna pick them up and put them right on over there. Yes, sir. He gonna do them just like Putin does his people. That's his boy. He gonna follow suit. They're not gonna have a choice, unless those that can escape from here. But they will be going. They're gonna die, most of them, but they're gonna go. Ill-equipped, no pride in America. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just what it is. Where he's gonna put them in war, I don't think there's gonna be no surrender stuff. If they go to Iran, they dead. If it's an Iranian war. If it's China, we're real jacked. But I forgot who it was. It was a trucker on here, and he like, oh, we gonna be okay because Americans got guns. And there's this weird mindset. God bless you, and I appreciate the brother, that we think we so big and bad. That, oh, we just gonna, that Joe Bob gonna come out his house and he gonna defend America. Okay, my dude, good luck with that. Look, let me help you out. Have you looked at that Chinese military? Y'all go check out some videos of China. There's a comedian, I forgot what his name is. He did a very good video. I have to see if I can find it. And he was basically giving the difference between our military and China. Like, they babes ain't playing. Well, most of them, it's not even about affording apartments. That's the other problem. We have a generation of people who are nipple fed. They on their mama's titty. Let me go here. God forgive me. And I know people might not like me for this, and it is what it is. Again, I ain't trying to make money off this channel. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. And I know a generation is probably gonna hate me. And I ain't gonna say all, but there's a lot. They've been raised on this phone right here. They believe whatever they see right here. Most of them are too busy trying to live like the things they see on these things right here. What they see on TV and this is a reality for them. Even just some people my age who, God forgive me, may not have any kind of even general education, didn't pay attention in school. They don't understand the history. I challenge anybody listening to me, go. You can watch the movie, which helps, but there's actually the Diary of Anne Frank. And go watch that. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're on that path. And while a lot of us as African Americans, some people are on this FAFO kind of mindset and, kind of heartless on what's going on right now with the Latino community. I'm not heartless because, honey, that may be us. That conversation where he said it's not going to be the illegals anymore. Also, I'm going, let's build some more prisons so we can send the homegrowns over there. Those homegrowns could be any of us. And so it may not just be that's what I'm saying. My heart goes out, and my heart goes out because a group of people who normally, because the Latino community is usually very tight. I mean, I understand that in certain spaces, there may be aspects of the Latino community that feel they're white and they feel they're better than other of their Latino counterparts that come from maybe other countries. But for the most part, they have been tight at a certain level, okay? Especially the ones here in the southern area. When you get down into Florida, that's a little bit different because I understand that some Cubans think they're white. They don't see themselves as minorities. And the reality is the Latino community on a whole, they aren't really a minority. And that's part of what's going on right now. We're still not growing as Black folks at the level The Latinos, that population is growing huge. So if you're somebody who considers yourself white, that is a threat. It goes back to the same issue that happened in the Old Testament with it was Pharaoh. So initially Joseph went, he helped with the famine, Joseph being a Jew. Then the Jews had come there to survive the famine, and they prospered very well in Egypt. And then it talks about there's generations that go by, and now we get to the Moses time frame. And during Moses time frame, the Jews were growing at such a rapid pace, Pharaoh became intimidated and they enslaved them. Okay, so then they basically because they were sitting in the seat of power. They weren't as large of a group as they were, but they were in the seat of power. So they basically became an oppressor to the Jewish people, or the Hebrews, Israelites, same thing, that were in Egypt, in order to try to keep their power over them, because they were scared because they would outnumber them, that they would end up taking over, right? It's that same mindset going on right now. So what's going on? Well, we got to get them out of here. They're growing at too big of a population. The dude told you they don't pull out. Basically, they have too many of them. They're not growing at that rate. This group ain't growing at the rate. So now this is intimidating. This scares them. It's like, whoa, whoa, it's too many of y'all. Whoa, too many of y'all. And I don't want you to outgrow us and us lose our power position. So we just gonna get you the hell up out of here. Get them out, as many of them as possible. Again, some folks, especially your middle class, lower, well, what was the middle class and poverty level, we getting ready to get a rude awakening when we go to the grocery store and stuff ain't on the shelves. Not to mention all the madness going on with the tariffs. We getting ready to get some rude awakening. And like I said, flatbed, you and I done did trucking. So I don't know if you did flatbed, I did food. I'm gonna tell you, we did a lot of cross dock in California, Texas, here in Arizona. I picked up a lot of food coming over here, but I also used to take a lot of beef into California to cross dock and go outside the U.S. And with everything going on, especially with China, they throwing us the middle finger. And right now, we've made them wealthy because we did outsource a lot of our jobs and pay slave wages. But from them slave wages, them people, just like they do here, they know how to save. They know how to put money away. That mentality, that thought process. The Asian folks are usually quite good when it comes to saving and surviving. They took that over in their countries, and that's what they did. So, and they grew their country from that. We getting ready to have a bad day. And people who got a bunch of money, they don't give a dang. But you got a bunch of people without money who, that's what they support. They don't give a dang. That's why I say, how you doing? So, and the other thing we have going on is a forgiveness issue. Because what's going to happen in this is not going to be good. The other concern we have is, and we got our media, which really, really sucks. Our media, thank you, Tiffany. Our media really sucks because our media, there was a point where old boy said that even bad attention was good. Of course, narcissisms love any kind of attention. Negative, positive, in between, over, under. My face is on, child, enjoying it, lapping it up with soup and a cocktail. Grumpy, any attention was good. He was a massive narcissist. Good attention, bad attention, any attention was good. That's a narcissist. That's why they lie. Even they lie, they don't care. This man my father told so many lies that one of my cousins called me like, oh, you forgot to put this in the obituary and that in the obituary. Yeah, I ain't put that in the obituary because none of that was true. Well, no, no, sweetheart, he was not. All of that was lies. But I don't care what that brother told you. The brother was a compulsive liar. Compulsive. The half-sister's mama had to get the message from me because I was like, well, because there would be things I was like, wait, this don't make sense. It did once I knew he lied. He lied about an entire career. I think the U.S. dollar is going to crash. Again, so here, and I'm going to go biblical. If things go, so America, if America is not in the end times, something happens to us. It was some of the evangelicals, especially the white evangelicals, who wanted to go, oh, maybe the rapture happens. And America has so many Christians, whatever, that, those Christians are taken out, and then that would have a huge impact on the economy. Again, arrogance and entitlement. What if we change the scenario? What if America chooses a leader by God's divine allowance and grace that God knew he's going to put in charge in order to bring America down? And what if the choices of that leader had a significant effect that impacted this nation? Economically, maybe a war, maybe all of the above. And America was then put in the light of being a weak, non-important country. This would then fulfill maybe some scriptural things where Russia, China, and even some African countries and Middle Eastern countries would now be of significance and importance and have a huge impact in the things that are going to come in the end time. And America's not mentioned. So what if the choices of this leadership that America chose, which is definitely representative of America, God gave us, point blank period, narcissistic, entitled, self-willed, self-centered, lying, status-driven. He gave America, classist, racist. He gave us. Point blank period. That brother embodies everything that is America, 100%. 100%. God gave us. I look at everybody that's like talking about the children. He gave you that, a grown child. Yes, sir. Entitled. I'm gonna do it my way. I don't care. I'm gonna lie, make it up. You can believe it. Don't really care. Tell you a lie and keep playing. He gave us. That's some hard medicine. So when you ask the question about companies investing, why? I think at this point, I think a lot of people are they're going to follow the bouncing ball. Now, what might get invested in is crypto, because there's going to have the dollar is getting ready. The dollar is going to take a hit. Because if you watch a little bit of the news, one thing I was watching as this all was playing out, with even some of the sanctions that were happening from America with the other administration, other countries were trying to get their money recognized over the American dollar. Because every country has its money, but the American dollar has played a significant role for a long time. But there goes back to a saying, every empire, every nation usually has a fall. I've seen it in my lifetime. What was that, when the Berlin Wall and stuff started? Was it Berlin Wall? I think it was, came down, and there was a change to that country. Every entity has its fall, and we're kind of due for it. And like I said, I believe that the fall that's going to happen here is going to be significant. And do I want war? No. Could it happen? Yeah. Will it likely happen with our current situation? Yes. Yeah. And this individual may poke the bear and start it because that's what they feel good about doing. But the war also could be twofold, which is what is going to damage us the most. A house divided against itself cannot stand. This person doesn't care whether you're for or against. Doesn't care. And that's why right now, doing whatever he wants. And for a lot of the people that are up there in those offices, in the positions of Senate, a lot of people are like, well, they not doing anything. Right, because probably he's blackmailing them and or threatening. And I know I heard some lady on here, she said that she went to some of her town halls, and one of the Democratic senators said that people are scared, threatening. And she's like, well, if it's this, that, because, folks won't think something like, no, they probably threatening lives. and whatever blackmail they got on them, whatever stuff. Because usually, was it absolute power corrupts absolutely? Usually, people who start getting in those higher echelons in power, they do a whole bunch of freaky weird stuff, from sexual sins to all sorts of stuff that you don't even want to know about. And if they got the information on them, yeah, absolutely use it. May have set them up to get the information, and or may threaten their lives and family members of their lives. I think I had heard one person talking about they had made some comments and they went to their door and pictures of some kind of like pictures where people had followed them and where they had been and where family members had been was on their door. We in that time, like I said, go watch the Diary of Anne Frank. Go read about what happened in Germany. To me, we're in American Germany. That's where we are now. It's about to get real. Like I said, if I had the right kind of money, I wouldn't be here. I'd be retired and living overseas somewhere. Be in Thailand, they can earthquake, do whatever the hell they want. I'd be up in Thailand chilling with the Asian folk. I'm gonna sit over here till they come for y'all. I'm good. I don't need to go back home. I'm good. Honestly, it's and folks are stressed a lot. That's why I sometimes come on here and go, "How y'all doing?" Even with my little Christian group, I'm like, "Y'all okay? How y'all doing?" Because all of us are sitting back and we're like, "This is a lot. It's a lot." Like I say, my heart goes out. I'm not Latino. I have Latino people in my family. I am an African American. I'm born here, but I originate just like all the rest of some of us from slaves. Um, my heart goes out that you can just be picked up and thrown off into a whole nother country, and I mean that could happen to any of us. And I think that's where we sitting back as Black folks, and because we don't know our own history. That's a behavior that's not new. Think about it. They went to Africa, snatched us up, and brought us over here to be what? Slaves. In this country, they picking folks up without the normal ways we do things here and taking them over to another country to be slaves. The sad part is I think that would be considered a Latino type country. I think it's Latin speaking. And your own type of people are oppressing you. Ain't that about something? Huh. Don't that remind you of a house ninja and a field ninja? I'm just thinking outside of it. I'm just thinking outside the box a little bit. So nothing, the Bible tells us there's nothing new under the sun. This is not new behaviors. Or to come to a country and pillage it, then put yourself in charge of it. And the natives that are here, they don't have no say. That's why we call them Native Americans. Oh, I forgot. They originally thought they was in India, right? But most people don't know any inkling of history, not enough, especially with the new generation. That's why you saying new generation? Them child children, they so lost. I know we were saying something, and I was like, when the whole thing with France, and France was like, we throwing a peace sign to America. And I said something in a little conversation else, and one of the young kids like, what's going on? I don't know. And one of the girls said, I know, Shannon, I've been praying about it. But she's a little older. She's in her 40s. Other folks was absolutely clueless. Everybody 40 and under, they clueless. Why? Because they getting McDonald's. They going home. And they think life is going to be the same every day. They don't know that it might change. That's why I want to get this garden going. Because some things about to happen. I don't know if what Walmart, I've been seeing stuff about Walmart saying the shelves are going to be empty due to all this stuff going on. I don't know what's true, what's false. Although Walmart's got its own weirdness with DI, right? I don't know what's true, what's false. But I do know. I've been saying, y'all might want to stock up. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to have a secondary water source. Y'all might want to stock up. I need to get a filter. I really want a Berkey, y'all. Y'all feel free to donate. Shannon needs a Berkey. So I can filter water. Because you can only stack so much bottled water. But yeah, I don't think things are good. Food-wise, I'm good. I'm good for a minute. I could still probably bless one additional person for at least a year. Maybe a little more. But this ain't good. So yeah, you asked me, A, do I think war? Yes. Do I think other companies are going to invest in America? I necessarily wouldn't. But I'm not a big corporation. Not right now. I'd have to see how things pan out, but things aren't good. Things aren't good, and we're in trouble. We're in trouble economically. We're in and we are in debt. Don't get me wrong, but the steps that the individual's taking ain't making it better. It's making it worse. And I'm gonna ask you this question: when they cut Social Security or whatever they're gonna do with that, when they cut Medicaid, and I worked under Medicaid and under Marketplace. If they cut, especially Medicaid, that's state based but with federal help. If they cut that and they cut other funding, and they're gonna mess with housing too. So for them ninjas playing the system, and I ain't talking about just the black ones, I'm talking about all the ninjas on the system playing it. You're getting ready to get your feelings hurt, but there's gonna be some people who really need it, and they're gonna be butt out too. The homeless situation is gonna go through the roof unless these people have family that is working. And right now, the whole family dynamic's a hot mess in general. Like I said, there's folks who gonna get some wake up calls. We seeing it right now, and in major areas. This individual doesn't care, and it's funny because this individual, he went after old boy who was in there prior about FEMA, and now he like, oh, now we're getting rid of FEMA, and yeah, y'all had that natural disaster in XYZ state. Oh well, oh well, and they voted for him. State majority vote for him because we all want to feel like we better than somebody else based on our ethnicity. So I'm some country. I'm better than them black folk. I'm better than them Latino folk. See, I'm gonna vote for that one because it ain't. I'm gonna vote for that. I'm better, and you don't realize that person don't care about you because that person is classist and racist. And if you're not at their class level, they could give a good doggone about you regardless of your ethnicity. See, classism and racism fall into those same categories. Yeah, I might not like other ethnicities, but I also don't like my own po folk that's like me. You're expendable. It is what it is. But I believe he's supposed to be there. I believe he's there definitely by God's design. Because I think God is showing us. We've been sweeping stuff under the rug for a long time. And it's funny because you got now certain black folks who are supporting this, supposedly very well-known ones. And now like, oh, I regret. You regret what? Regret being a house ninja? We already knew house ninjas existed. We know y'all exist. We know y'all ain't going nowhere. And even though you regret working for that master, you'll soon go under another master and be in their house if another one came up. So that you can feel better than the field Negro. I'm just saying. And the sad part, in master's eyes, y'all both in the same boat. You just something tolerates for their use and service until they don't need you no more. Or they move on to some new field ninjas and house ninjas. And you expendable. History, but most folks don't know it, nor do they want to. Especially in our society today. It's very sad. And so everything that's happening, and all I can tell you is I'm kind of like in the Old Testament. Buckle up and get your hand in God's hand, and hopefully I'm praying for the rapture. Before things get really special up in here. But I do believe we're going to have some special stuff up in America. And it's very, very, very unfortunate. I remember, and I was supposed to do this, and I might do it in the video. One of the people asked me, is God bored? No, God's not bored. He's strategic. You just don't understand his strategy. And I don't understand all of it. But I can definitely get he's strategic in his movements. His ways aren't my ways. His thoughts aren't my thoughts. There are things I'd probably vastly different. There's things I might do that might have been very cruel. Because to me, he's tolerated a lot off man and the foolery. But he does have a sense of grace and mercy. that maybe in my humanness I would not. I may see things in the Middle East different. I have a problem that people went into somebody's house, tore something up, and then we got the nerve to have an attitude about them defending themselves. And my heart goes out, but in war there is going to be casualties. Y'all should have stayed on the other side of the fence. And that's just me. And not trying to be mean. It's not that my heart doesn't go out, but now you need to really deal with your people who poke the bear. That's why we selling to these folks, hey, this is y'all problem. But in reality, it's going to be all of our problem because all of us are going to be impacted right now. And some folks ain't seeing the big picture because you seeing it, you're not understanding. There's some deeper stuff going on behind the scenes and some deeper spiritual things going on behind the scenes. So buckle up. And I'm going to tell y'all, get them gardens going. That's what I said. I got to try to get out there either tonight or early in the morning because one of them beds is getting done this weekend. And I got to transplant. And I haven't planted any vegetables yet. I've got rosemary. It's either spearmint or peppermint. It smells more like spearmint to me. I got a chocolate mint. I went and got that. And then I'm probably going to get some more. I haven't gone to, and I need to get some other, but I'm getting ready to get out there and start getting some stuff in order. But yeah, y'all get your hand in his hand. That's all I can tell you. Get your hand in God's hands. Because it's getting ready to get real special. Go on and get your toilet paper stored up. Get your water stored up. Try to get a filtration system. Get that garden going. Meat-wise, I'm set. I'm not worried about meat. I got meat. And I'm not eating meat as much, but I got meat. My freezers, I got one deep freezers packed. Lord knows my other two freezers, I see what's freezer burned and what's not. But even freezer burned food, you can make something of it. It might not taste the best, but you can work with it. Beans and rice, I'm loaded. I mean, I think I got about 100 pounds of rice and maybe about 35 pounds of beans. I might get another bag of beans. But again, it's just me. But right now, I'm set. The only thing I need is water source, constant water source, and a way to filter water. That's all I need. And I wouldn't mind having a generator, but I don't want a gas generator. I'd want a solar generator, I forgot the name of it. There's one that's really popular, and you get the solar panels. Yeah, and I'll be all right. So, I mean, other than rent, and I had a weird dream the other night about something with food, and dream of it. In the dream, it was a white lady in the dream, and it was like we were living in the same house. And when I walked in, she said, she's in there just doing this massive clean. And I was like, kind of looking at her, and she said, we've got to get things ready. And I was like, okay. I ain't mad at you, Flatbed. Get your van. Look, now that I'm able to move a little better, I'm still got some mobility issues, but I can walk short distances without the cane. Long distances, I still need my rollator. But when I'm in office, I take my rollator has to be with me. I was able to go from my car to the doctor's office to the lab with my cane because I just parked in front and I was able to do it with the cane. But if I have to do long distance on a consistent basis, I got to have the rollator, especially my back. My back is all jacked up. Not as much pain in the knee though, but it does have issues. But because I wouldn't mind having I would really like to have a RV. Yeah, the weight loss is helping with that. I had that's the other thing. The Ozempic, they upped me. So I started 0.25, I went to 0.50, and now we're getting ready to move to 0.75. So tomorrow is a 0.75 shot. Yeah, yeah. I still need to go in for the colonoscopy because I still got some stuff going on with my gut, and we're just praying in my gut, and hopefully nothing bad. But I need to go get that checked. So I'm actually going to call them next week to start working on getting scheduled the colonoscopy. I was hoping to get it scheduled on a Monday, but she didn't have anything. Talking about the dude that I want, he does Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I'm going to call her. I can't remember what she said, but I think we're going to do like a Wednesday, Thursday, and I can get Wednesday, Thursday off. It just sucks because it's in the middle of the week. That's how they do. Apparently, that's how they do it. So it's not really quickly. It's like been like every 30 days or so. Like you, every time I go back for a visit, if they see the weight loss, it's like gradual increase that they do. So that's how they do it. It's like, okay, did you handle? But that's when the lady who actually was the colonoscopy lady, the lady who does all the arrangements, she also had gone on Monjero, I think it was, is that she's working for another doctor, and she started it several years ago. I didn't, like I said, most of us didn't even know that these. I didn't know that Ozempic and Wegovy have been around a long time. They become the type of drug has been around a long time. I don't know if it was under those quote unquote names, but these aren't new drugs. They've been around a long time. Yeah, they do. Once it gets to a certain point, and that's what the lady said. For her, what did she say her issue was? I think hers was constipation. Um, as they began to up it, and there's things you can do to offset that. Just give me some ice cream. That'll offset it for me. I'll be up in there letting loose. That's all I need, some ice cream. Ice cream, that's all she wrote. It's like XOX for me. But she said, I think hers was constipation, but other people have other stomach issues and some don't have any. So far, but my stomach issues were coming a little bit, I think, before this whole situation. So I need to go get checked because that was something, one of the reasons I want to get this. I've been without I was supposed to have the colonoscopy during COVID. They canceled it because of the whole COVID madness. And then I never rescheduled it. So I need to get this done now. So we're going to go and find out what's going on. And then I also have the two hernias. And I think that also plays an issue because hernias can tie to your, I think your small intestines can be tied up in hernias. So got a lot going on, but it's in God's hands. And, my time here is my time here. I don't have any control over that. He gave me, look, I got real sick in my late 20s. So in my opinion, he gave me 36 more years. Or excuse me, 26 more years? 26 more years. You talking about for like Ozempic and Wegovy, Tiffany? You talking about for Ozempic and Wegovy? Let me know if that's what you're referring to. Okay. Well, I don't know who your insurance is, but like for me, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and well, the company I work for, I don't know if that's the arrangement with them, but my prescription cost me like 24, like just under $25, around 24.99. And I know it's like 1,100 and some dollar prescription. Hold on. Is it here? I don't know if I have it there. I had it the other day. It's like $1,176. Some crazy number. And I only paid $25. There's a $50 rebate, and then I paid $24.99, so like 25 bucks. So I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And like I said, it's working. It's really weird how it works. So like even the other thing, so like Linda's sister, woo, woo. Yeah, I don't know who your insurance. So I know some insurances are covering it, my Lord. Some insurances are covering it. Because I wouldn't be able to do this if the insurance wasn't covering it. Ain't no way in hell. Um, we'd probably be talking to weight loss surgery. But what I will say, oh, Blue Cross. So it has to be the relationship that my company has with Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I am paying for the higher, so they have a couple of different plans. And because of my age, I take the more expensive plan. The reason is because of my age. I can go PCPs outside of the network and they cover. And the reason I pay for that is because of my age. Also because of underlying health issues, the whole blood clotting disorder. Um, I do it for that reason. Obviously the diabetes, the obesity, and other issues. So I definitely went for the higher plan. Um, but the company I work for, I'm just gonna say they do a lot um to give us a lot of benefits. Because if I would have had the surgery, I have a whole nother insurance that's paid for by my company that would have helped with the weight loss surgery as well. Yeah, I have a whole nother company that they have that would have helped with offsetting my out of pocket. It probably wouldn't have cost me anything to have the weight loss surgery. They sent me like a card if I ever have to have surgery. So probably when I have the surgery to do the hernia repair, I won't be coming out of pocket, if very little, if at all. So that much I'm grateful for. The glasses, I got 2 pairs of glasses right now. And then granted, this is a normal, but even that, the glass insurance, I don't pay for it. That's free. Um, they gave us 2 dental choices. I chose the top dental choice, but I don't pay a lot of money for that insurance at all. I pay a little bit more for the type of health insurance, but they even have one where pretty much if you don't want to pay, you don't have to pay. You wouldn't have to pay unless it was family based. But if you were single, you could choose. There's one that they have. They you wouldn't have to pay nothing for. So I'm grateful. It was actually my niece that told me that people were telling her at our company. Hey, she said, Aunt Shady, you might want to look at that because so and so told me they getting their prescriptions for like $20-some. I'm like, hmm. So sure enough, when I talked to him and he sent it over, it was $24.99. I was like, okay. And when I was sitting up here, could barely walk around this house and pushing that bucket, because I've been praying, Lord, show me, should I do this? Because it was the doctor's office who said, Shannon, have you considered doing Ozempic or Wegovy? I was like, And then when I had Thanksgiving and I'm sitting up here, I could barely walk. Had to take some time off work. I mean, I was in bad shape. And what came to me was, what are you going to do if you have a health crisis and you have to go into assisted living? You're going to die a miserable death in assisted living because you're a fat woman and people aren't going to want to clean you up, roll you over, pick you up. Yeah, they can be. That's true. And maybe it's the Lord. I just been very blessed, and most companies I work for, I've been very blessed where insurance has stepped in when I really need them. When I got sick at age 29, my insurance was going into free fall. I was working for a cell company here. The insurance company I was with was a company called Intergroup. They had done some illegal stock activity, and the federal government had to step in. So there was a lot going on, bankruptcy, a whole bunch going on. Matter of fact, when I found out about the blood clots, I had to go into my regular doctor. They were hauling out the medical equipment, and his offices were going to be closed because it was part of Intergroup. I had already, when I ended up in the hospital, Intergroup was in play. When I came out the hospital the first go round, next thing I know, I had a visitor from United Healthcare. So the federal government had broken up the patients and had stepped in the insurance division, and they had assigned certain insurance companies to take over, obviously, the patients. And I got United Healthcare, which is what they're the second largest in the nation. Our best, so you got top number one is, well, largest, but the best ones. First is Blue Cross Blue Shield, then will be United, then will be Aetna. So United came in, and United took care of me. Honestly, I was very fortunate. The doctors I got, the medical treatment, the coverage, because in one hospital, Chandler, which was a hospital I ended up at, they didn't have certain equipment to determine one of my clots because I had the first clot was a DVT, then they found the 17 centimeter mass, and then later, after going through everything from the first DVT dissolving to later having to go, because it was like 6 months of hell, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest. I was on a banana peel. To then taking out the mass, the 17 centimeter mass, and then when everything seemed like it was leveled out, I threw a blood clot to the lung. So I was coughing blood, and I just happened to get a doctor who her first, and I didn't have her for a long time, but I had her for exactly what I needed her for because she got married and moved away. But she said one of her first patients was a clotting patient. And when I started coughing blood, she immediately said, I need you to get to the emergency room. And called me from her dinner, okay? Because I called the emergency line, called from her dinner and said, get to the emergency room. And then when they ran the scan at Chandler, it was they thought they saw something, and they ambulanced me from Chandler, which was a hospital, to another hospital, who was the one who really had the first red flag of my clotting issue. And that hospital ran the camera up to the lung to see the blood clot in the lung. And I remember the doctor came from around the thing and he said, how in the hell did you find that? And he said, whatever you were supposed to do in this life, you need to do. You're very fortunate to be here. That because I had a massive clot in the lung. So, like I said, God is, even in my disobedience, even in my foolishness, he has always watched over me. That's just, and I'm grateful. So, you know, how much time I got, I don't know. I'm grateful. And he's blessed me beyond the scope of some of the situations that have presented themselves that should have took me out. And it's really been me and him. God's plan. Facts. Facts. So that's what I'm saying. Right now, I needed something to get this weight off. I needed to deal with this weight. Yeah. So God's plan is actually true. So we got to see what he's going to do. Because like I said, I got some gut issues going on right now. And I got to trust him in those situations as well. And see what he's going to do. Anyway, y'all, we're at an hour and change. I might be on here either next weekend or the weekend after. I try to post it, so I'm gonna try to do Saturdays opposed to Sundays, because I get that some people can get on here on Saturdays opposed to Sundays. For those of you who watch me later, give me a like, thumbs up, comment down below, and I pray that I know for a lot of my minorities this is heavy. What's happening, and all I can tell you is from a Christian standpoint. There's definitely God is in the details. As I talked to one of the old mothers of my church who's 95, she turned 95 last week, and I called her to wish her happy birthday, and she said, all I know is God is still on his throne and he's still in charge. Absolutely. We may not understand it. I grew up, and some of y'all who may be African American grew up in a Black Baptist church, you might remember this. So we'll understand it by and by. There's some things we don't understand. We like, Lord, what is going on? And there's others where we just really have to take this strange faith walk and just trust him in the details, even if those details don't feel good. And when you think about Old Testament stories, which some people don't know, they Bible like a Daniel in the lion's den, and they were in captivity. Daniel in the fiery furnace, all of that, when you think about that, those stories that resonate, when you think about a Job, sometimes they don't make sense. And you may think, like one of the young ladies said, is God bored? No, he's not bored. He's strategic. And we don't necessarily always understand his strategy, but there's a strategy involved. And it may not always be pretty. And there's also lessons involved. And sometimes butt whoopings aren't fun. So people are getting some butt whoopings right now. Yeah, people want to call it FAFO or whatever. Call it whatever you want to call it. There's lessons in all of this for everyone, not just the people who chose to support this. There's lessons in it for all of us. We all should be looking in the mirror and say, what do I believe? We all should be looking in the mirror and asking the question about our classes mentality. We all should be looking in the mirror and asking, how has racism permeated me? Just because I'm Black don't mean I don't have racist issues. We're in America. Our entire education system is racist. Our society is classist. We all, in some way, have been impacted. And even our ideals, our thought processes, how we look at things impacts us. How we interact with each other impacts us. Even in our Black community among Black folks, some of us think we're better than others. I'm not as ghetto as she is. Oh, I don't live in the projects. I'm a middle-class Black person. Come on now. Come on. We all are impacted. That's the difference of the house ninja and the field ninja. It's the difference between different Latino people under the Latino umbrella of Spanish-speaking culture. Now, granted, they might not be all in the same country, but you see yourself better than the other one. Or you don't see yourself as a minority. We need to look at it. Anyway, y'all, be blessed. I'm going to get my butt off of here. I got some things to do in the kitchen, working on this desk, and I may go outside and work a little bit in my little garden area, because that's going up this weekend. Might be tomorrow, but it's going up this weekend. Maybe I'll get up early in the morning, because that might be my thing tomorrow, because I might work. I'm probably going to do the desk in the kitchen today, because it's getting late out there. Anyway, y'all, 2 and 2, be blessed. Peace.